feel like every year there's some new action RPG that is hitting the scene, like Torchlight Infinite, Diablo 4, Last Epoch, Path of Exile 2, and even Superfuse. But with that, there are others who want to try their hand at making legendary games. Therefore, our newest ARPG to try to join the ranks is called Dragonkin: The Banished, which this is a brand new dark fantasy action RPG that's bringing some form of intense combat, deep customization, and in my opinion, a very stunning isometric visuals. But does it truly have what it takes to really stand out from the rest? In this first look preview, we're diving into the gameplay, the world, and whether Dragonkin: The Banished is worth your time and money when it finally releases on early access. Thanks to the team, I was able to receive a demo code for the game to be able to play it early and truly watch this game grow into its early access launch. But that begins, like I said, on March 6th for PC only. But it does have a planned launch for consoles when 1.0 releases. Dragonkin is looking to truly be the next Diablo or even the next Path of Exile. With the popularity and long-term planning, right now to be expected upon early access is the prologue, which consists of about 30 minutes. Act 1 is roughly around 6 hours of game time, and plenty of in-game content to keep players around for years. But the demo that I played was only just a small snippet of what's to come for the game, as I got to experience the gameplay loop of fighting, looting, and a little bit of customizing your build with the ancestral grid that you will honestly be very used to in a lot of ARPGs. So let's talk a little bit about that gameplay loop that you'll expect to see. So far, I spent some time with Dragonkin due to it being a very limited demo compared to what we will see in the early access. So my views on this game will definitely change when it does get here. So I'll view it with the limited amount of time that I had on this game, and honestly the darkness of this game, you know, the art style really grabbed my attention. It has that grittiness. I liked a little bit of that brutality combat, so when I was checking this game out, it is very similar to like Path of Exile or other games just like it. And even with the new recent Last Epoch, Path of Exile 2, and even Diablo 4. Like, I love that some of the ARPGs has been going more into this dark and grittiness behind them. And no offense to Torchlight Infinite, I like that cartoony aesthetics as well, but sometimes we gotta have a nice balance of like what types of worlds that I want to jump myself into. The core gameplay loop of the demo revolves around honestly just the prologue for me, which does a good job at walking me through the story and just trying out the characters, with each falling under a specific class type. But you do get to play as a knight, a mage, berserker, and as well as an archer. But in the demo, I was only able to play as 3 classes so far after I got done with the prologue, which boils down to the knight class that focuses on utilizing fuel for your skills instead of energy, allowing you to alternate between energy and fuel efficiently since fuel refills itself over time. We also do have our mage of the group, which is the Oracle, who casts spells using a mechanic called Vision Gauge, which is used to increase the power of your spells. But by using the Vision Gauge, it will actually reduce your energy cost, therefore improving the effects of your next skill. So a nice little buff, for example, is like you want to get like that maximum output that you'll be looking for. But then there's the Barbarian. Now the Barbarian, dog, anybody who likes playing barbarians, you will be very used to this. It is the rage meter. It helps just increase your damage. The higher the meter gets, the less energy that you end up spending on your skills. But so far during my time, I loved playing as the Oracle, and her moveset, I really enjoyed the walking nuke of mages in ARPGs. But Dragonkin does have a nice way of crafting a build that you're truly wanting to get. And I actually really enjoyed this mechanic or theme of grinding for abilities from Superfuse. Diablo 4 has done something very similar. Torchlight Infinite has something simple. I always like looking at the way developers find a way to invite your community into like upgrading, just make it like a very inviting place, or have it be interesting. Sometimes you want to be a little bit of complexity, not so simple. But the major way that you upgrade your crew is through the ancestral grid. You probably heard me say that a couple of times. This is where you actually just manage all of your skills, which each class's grid is shaped completely differently, which you end up having like numerous amount of possibilities to customize it with the little hexagons called fragments. Now, in the game, you will actually be able to loot these fragments on enemies and chests that you find throughout your runs. They can be one of the 3 types: character skills, modifiers, and even wormling skills. But each fragment is randomly generated and has multiple different sizes and shapes, and sometimes you will only get 1 hexagon and sometimes 2, 3, or more hexagons will be stuck together. But the modifier are really what make the difference, because the rarer the modifier, the higher the amount of power you will apply to that skill. Now, actually moving forward with the other gameplay features of Dragonkin, we also can choose between like 4 wormlings to equip. Wormlings are basically the game's version of a pet, so to speak. Each of these wormlings has their own unique elements, their different bonus attributes and skills, but you can manage your wormlings while they are equipped and be able to craft different equipment for these wormlings at the wormling jail, which honestly, it's a cute little pet shop. That's what it looks like to me. It's a cute little pet shop. I know we're supposed to be in this dark and grittiness, but it just looks like a cute pet shop for little baby dragons, for baby dragon looking things, but they're worms. They're worms. Now, each wormly does have skills, right? They act as both skills and modifiers, and you cannot use them by themselves, but they must be placed in contact with your character skills to actually be able to trigger them. But these skills are specific to your wormling's element. You would not be able to equip an electrical wormling skill if you are currently utilizing a fire element. Therefore, some of the wormling skills are triggered when a character skill is activated, others when you inflict damage or when you eliminate enemies. For example, I was playing as the barbarian not even a few hours ago, and whenever I would do the spinning thing, when the barbarian is doing average like spinning around the RR, he is also casting fire, and when your wormly is in sync with you, he will begin to spit fire as well, dealing even more damage, trying to get those numbers up. With the character skill being affected by 8 or more modifiers, the skill will enter in symbiosis with your wormling. That is the team up thing. Symbiosis increases the skill's damage and allows it to strike utilizing the wormling's element in addition to your skill's original element, which, like I said, I find is the coolest thing, being able to attack with your pet. You'll be spending most of your time also in the hub area, because you heard me speaking about wormling jails, but we gotta talk about the hub world. So far, I'm actually really starting to actually like hub areas in video games. Like, sometimes we don't need this big open world. A nice good hub area is always pretty great too. That's kind of what took me off a little bit. Like, I understood about Diablo 4 like when it first was announced, but like after playing it, I'm like, man, this open world aspect, I'm just not feeling it. I just like hub areas. They're starting to grow on me, honestly. But let's talk about it. The hub world is called Monty Scale. It's your city, which allows you to upgrade this area. You can expand the different neighborhoods and unlock different merchants throughout your entire city. Currently, like I said, this is just a demo, so I can only do dungeons, so to speak, and just explore the hub area. But you can teleport in between each location, which it happens in a split of a second. Like, there's no load times, nothing. I was actually very surprised that there was no load times. You just click the button, bada boom, bada bang, you're good to go. You don't got to worry about it. You're there. Like, it just, boom, you're there. I really enjoy that. I don't have to sit there and load into that area. Now, of course, it makes sense overall because we are just in one instance, but it's just, I don't know. It's the small quality of life things that, make me a little bit happy. But one thing that I do enjoy, Sally couldn't do too much about it in the demo, but there is the option to do it once early access gets here, is that the city gains this thing called prosperity, which, like I said, not available in the demo, but allows you to utilize the services that it offers. You can, eliminate different things. You can upgrade different people. Each time your city's prosperity level up, you can unlock a brand new service or upgrade an existing building by just accessing the menu that you'll see at the top part of your screen. But in the demo, you will only have access to the jeweler, the apothecary, and the dark merchant. But when early access launches, you would get all of those. You'll be able to unlock a lot of different buildings. You can get like the enchanter, memorialist, ornamentalist, artificer, the draconic atlas, the arsenal, and the rumors. And this is where I like about, like, when no risk for the wicked, just being able to just have this survival crafting building of your town as you continue to, gain things throughout your entire time playing. I really enjoy that fact of just being able to just upgrade the town as I grow, the town grows. That I find is a real nice touch to that RPG side of things. Now, one thing I do want to talk about is my actual demo time playing. In the demo, I can only do the prologue and this in-game activity called Dungeon Purification. Now, it is a simple dungeon run, and your reward is based on how fast you can beat this area. Now, at the launch of Early Access, this activity will be among the 2 available in the endgame and would not be accessible before you complete Act 1 of Dragonkin's story. There is the hunting board that is not part of my demo, but it provides access to a wide range of draconic creature hunts unlocked at the main story's confrontation, so you mainly have to play through the story. It reminds me definitely of any ARPG. It is one of your in-game activities you can't visit till after you're done with the main campaign. But we are getting in-game activities after just Act 1. As time goes on, more acts will come into existence. This is just an early access. Now, those boar hunts are very replayable. You can only get the reward only once, but you get definitely different quests, unique quests. They all have different durations of how long they will take. They all get their own modifiers. They got all different rewards. Like, there's so many things you can do. Some of the rewards on the hunting board are augmentations and powerful bonuses that remain active throughout a hunt, and you get a quick up to 2 of them. So, like, overall, the dev team has a nice, clear thought on what they want for their players, how they want that longevity to go for this game. So I definitely can't wait to see early access to see what exactly happened. Right now, I just wish I had a little bit more time with my demo, but I'm going to bring into one of my biggest things that are kind of annoying me a little bit, and I've been talking to the dev team about this, or my PR team to be exact, because it's not all sunshine and rainbows. During my time playing this demo, in my eyes, this feels more just like a prologue demo. Does not feel like the demo that I was truly being offered, and I'll explain that. And there's no fault on anybody. But I honestly can't even really enjoy the second part of the demo, because in the demo I received from the team, they give you 3 level 35 characters that you can play as. The Knight, Barbarian, Oracle, right? And you play through it. There's a health and defense, which is absolutely atrocious, to the point where I can't even survive 1 minute in the in-game dungeons. I am currently, like I said, talking to my PR lead. Apparently there's something going on with my demo version, so I'm not actually critiquing it super hard, but it did annoy me. And that right there is just like, I can't even barely enjoy the demo because I can't even play it fully, other than just a prologue and just messing around in the hub area. But from a little bit that I played, with a little bit of gameplay that I did get into this, I feel like there's a lot going here for Dragonkin. It's definitely going to be another game that's added to like something similar. It probably won't be on the same level of popularity like Path of Exile 2 or even Diablo 4, but eventually, give it time, it'll probably get up there. If the devs don't abandon this game, they keep it going, they always make sure the content is always there for us, and overall just fixing up a little bit of hiccups that may come around, honestly, this game can have a long, prosperous life. I always want the best for games when they're in this early state. I understand the concept of this game, I understand what they got going for us, but I can't wait to see what's next and how leveling up in this game also works too, because I've always felt like the leveling process with a lot of games needs to be good too. The pacing of how this works to really keep people satisfied. But we got going to March 6th. This is, like I said, this is a sneak peek preview of what to expect. Hopefully this video kind of gave you a nice idea of what to expect out of the new ARPG. Will you be playing it or not? Hopefully the gameplay loop can scratch that itch for someone looking for a new action RPG. But if you enjoyed today's video, then definitely hit the like button, subscribe to the channel for more chill coverage on new and upcoming games. As always, stay safe out there, and it's been your host, KSTTV, signing out. Peace.